Ciao guys, this is the Pasta Queen and you're now watching Growing Up Italian.
Just gorgeous.
Just gorgeous.
Grown Up Italian.
Growing Up Italian.
Growing Up Italian podcast.
Growing Up Italian.
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 Growing Up Italian podcast.
Growing Up Italian.
Growing Up Italian.
Growing Up Italian podcast.
Growing Up Italian.
Woo!
I'm so loud.
That's what being Italian is, right?
Yeah, I've been, I don't know if I've been following the Pasta Queen service announcements.
Uh-huh.
What the hell, Sabino? You haven't watched one?
No, I mean, I watch your videos, but pasta serve, is that like when you send the mass message
When
out?
I
PSA?
when I scream, and I'm like, why do people put cream in carbonara?
Yeah, why?
You guys put cream in carbonara?
All the time, yeah.
Should I admit it? Should I admit it? No,
Please tell me the
I'm
truth.
going to be honest because
This
I'm
is
not
a safe space.
I'm not a liar. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the truth. Downstairs in our store, I've been working since I'm a kid. My dad opened when I was 4 years old. So you see how we have the steam table?
Easy.
When we used to make the carbonara for the customers, it would be heavy cream and bacon. So I'm not going to lie. But from doing this
Why did you
and
invite
watching
me?
your videos,
What am I doing here?
maybe to teach
What
us something or
happened?
two.
Yeah, but how hard? It's a big tray. It's like 3 kg, you know? How do you make 3 kilo pasta? You got to make it on the fly.
Carbonara, you got to eat right away. The real carbonara,
You can't
need
have
to
it in
eat
a
right
hot-
away.
You gotta
Steam
eat it
table.
right away. It's got really like semi-raw eggs.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't want to play with that one.
And if
don't
you
wanna,
put
like,
it-
put it in the fridge 3 days later, go at it. You
Yeah.
know?
If you put carbonara on a steam table too, wouldn't the eggs cook?
Yes.
So that's why.
I mean, it depends how steamy it is.
Oh, it's steamy.
It's
Nice
hot.
Nice and hot, baby.
It's hot.
It's like
Like a
a
Yeah,
sauna.
you don't have a
something.
scrambled. You have like a frittata di pasta.
Sì,
Yeah,
bravo,
beautiful,
bravo.
beautiful.
Esatto,
It's
bravo.
delicious.
Which is so good.
You know what's so crazy is that we know each other for a while, but this is our first time meeting.
Yeah, I think we did. I think I was like right at the beginning of Pasta Queen. It was like July 2020. And we did with your cousin, right? Rosaria.
Yeah.
And we did the first podcast
Yeah.
over
It was like an
Zoom
Instagram live thing.
during
yeah.
the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Super makeshift.
Crazy times. But
Yeah.
it's crazy to see how far along you came. And I remember the first time I saw her. There's an actress I think you guys look alike, Sofia Vergara. Have you ever heard that before?
Well, she gets the
I don't know
comparison.
what you're talking about.
But when I saw it, I was like, man, this woman's beautiful cooking. Like, what's going on here? And then, everybody loved
Are
you.
you hitting on me? Or
No,
what's
no,
happening here?
no. I'm just saying that for your content,
Let's go
you're
tomorrow.
no. Never. Tutto rispetto.
No,
But
sto scherzando.
I know. Certo.
I'm just,
Yeah, I know.
I'm like this.
Yeah.
People don't know very well. I tried, like I was saying to you, Sabino, even though you don't follow my PQSAs.
That's the Queen service announcement.
That's right, Rocco.
How could you not know that, bro?
I mean, how could you not know?
I just learned it 5 minutes ago. You know?
Rocco. But no, I was, so they have been a different side of the cooking because I have such strong opinions about Italian food that I've decided to do these like service announcements where I take some of the most frequently asked questions, whether on DMs, comments, on any platform like TikTok, YouTube, and IG, and then I answer them knowing how much people want to know about that subject,
Yeah.
So based on that, people are saying what happened to you, like why you screaming, what are that? I'm like, actually, do you even know me? Like that's actually me. I'm a little aggressive. I have a strong sense of humor, but I also like poetry.
Yeah, I could tell. Some of your videos, you like have these beautiful words. I'm like, wow. She put 2 and 2 together. I could never do that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I love, like,
That's why we don't do like those kind of videos.
Yeah, yeah. You have punchlines. You know what I mean? You have like nice.
Yeah. Like one of my favorite subjects at school was poetry, Italian literature. So I read a lot of books, a lot of poetry books, a lot of the biggest operas, like Dante, Giacomo Leopardi, Boccaccio, which are basically like big poets of Italy. I love poetry.
So, with that being said, right, before you do a video, do you think of the lines before, like, what comes first, the food and then the lines, or the lines?
The food.
Yeah?
The food. Yeah, like, I think that I've always had this very witty way with words and very quick. And sometimes in my mind, like, something you say makes me think of 10 things, so I can kind of like make analogies on the spots.
That's incredible, because I know a lot of my friends that do the same thing you do on a different level, of course, but they like almost make the punchlines first, and then when they're cooking, they gotta like.
No, I never do that. I mean, Erika is my best friend / social media manager. Do we ever prepare anything?
Never.
Improv.
I love that.
Nothing is prepared. Nothing is scripted. It's just a genuine reaction and spur of the moment. Like, I'm like, ooh, I did something and it reminds me of something,
Yeah, but there's never a moment where you're like, oh, damn, I should have said this. You know what I mean?
No.
She doesn't look back.
Ah, look at you.
No.
Naturally talented, huh?
I just keep moving.
Improv. You're good at improv.
So that's one thing that maybe it has been a little clearer since I've been now. Oops.
It's true.
Look at Moschino.
It's true.
Where are you going?
That's such an Italian thing, right? When something drops when someone's talking, so it's like,
È vero, guarda.
When I was 13, I did improv in theater in Rome, and then I was in my first feature movie for the cinema in Italy by 14 years old.
Wow.
Can you believe it?
I
you
mean,
can still find the movie. They play it every year, every summer in Italy.
Amazing.
I'm not going to tell you since how long, but...
So I think if anybody's watched one of our podcast episodes, they know who you are. Everybody in this community, in the Italian American community.
Am I known, Sabino,
Yes.
do you think?
Yes. I will say.
No, a little bit.
I don't know.
We're playing good cop, bad cop here.
There might be like, I'm like, who's
No.
this lady?
No.
Are you?
You're,
Is she faking her accent?
you're undeniable. Everybody knows who you are.
You're the pasta mascot.
Wow.
For
and
Italian
what's
Americans.
very rare for you, I mean, you in particular, is because I feel all the Italians I know you, and all the Italian Americans, and it's not a lot of people that have both. Some people have one, and some people have the other.
Wow.
But you and Gianluca QCP are the only two
See,
that have
I mean,
both.
Gianluca is authentically Italian.
Yeah.
And he's meaning, he really is Napoletano.
Yeah.
Like, and
Is it Ischiesese?
Sì,
How do you say that?
bravissimo.
I just made that up,
But
by the way.
he's really like, even his demeanor and his essence is a Napoletano.
Yeah.
And I told him, like, you're Napoletano. Like, you need to, like, own up to it. And so he actually speaks Italian pretty well.
Yeah, he's learning. We were talking about it. We're all on Duolingo now.
Yeah.
Me and Rocco have a streak right now. We're going in.
Just the real Italian. We speak dialect.
Yeah?
So, noi parliamo così, non me ne fotto come parlo, capite? So, like, for me to speak with somebody like you, of course, I have to brush up.
But
on my Italian.
Roma dialect, I mean, do you prefer to speak dialect or proper Italian?
Both. I mean, Roman dialect is like my comfort zone. Like, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
I feel like warm and fuzzy when I can speak Roman dialect, because it's like I grew up speaking Roman dialect. But you gotta also know Italian. You know what I mean? And Italian is a language in itself. And then there's like probably, I think I studied it once. I think there's over 50 dialects.
In all of Italy?
Yeah.
there's probably even
Actually,
more.
no.
Maybe
Sorry,
more.
I
There's
probably more.
Totally,
There's 20 regions.
No. There's close to 25 dialects That's what I
Like,
researched once.
but there's sub-dialects too.
Yes.
Maybe Napolitano, because then in our little villages where we're from, already, like my mom and my dad's town, they speak different and
Yeah.
have different words for things.
Yeah.
Over 30
It's-
recognized dialects.
There you go.
Over 30.
Yeah. So basically, Italian is what everybody can understand each other with. And then regionally, I mean, Italy wasn't Italy until, fairly recently.
Right.
When they unified
we're
it, right?
talking about the 1860s, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's when it came together. Before it was very, very individual identities. You had each region has, and that's why the cooking is so different, and even the languages are so different region to region.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
What I was going to say, to the point that we feel you're so well known in the community, what I know you for is making pasta. What I want to know about you now is kind of your journey from Roma to coming to America.
Yeah, that's
Like,
an interesting one.
Yeah, I have no idea like why
Why?
you came here. Like, Italy's the most beautiful place in the world, in particular Rome. You walk around, it's literally
I
a
tell
movie.
you, I totally. I get asked this a lot actually, because it is. Italy
Is it what?
so beautiful, and you're like, why do you love Italy so much, but you moved away from it?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a bit of a,
Catch 22.
it's not catch-22, it's like an opposite. How do you say that? It's like you love Italy, you represent Italy, you're obsessed with
Ironic?
pasta,
little
but then you move away from it.
Yeah.
Why is that? Would you ever go back to Italy? 100%. Even as a matter of fact, my family is all between Rome and Naples. So I have most of my family in Rome and Caserta, where they make the best buffalo mozzarella.
By us, they do. Salerno.
Campania, Salerno.
Salerno. Eboli. Like,
Caserta is in Campania.
but Eboli in particular.
Va bene, okay. We'll talk
No?
about it.
Oh, Battipaglia pure. è vero.
She knows.
She
She
did
knows.
that.
Yeah,
She's
she
real.
knows.
She's real.
Guys, she was engaged to be married with a gentleman from that area, and she spent 3 years eating buffalo mozzarella.
Lactose intolerant.
Yeah, she became lactose intolerant because of how much buffalo mozzarella she ate.
But yeah, so yeah, that region, when it comes to the fresh mozzarella.
Sorry, so let's go back. Because otherwise we're gonna... Do you want to say something about the region, though?
No, but what we were just saying.
We're safe. We're from the same
The reason why I said Eboli is because when I get by our parents' hometown, literally on the way from the airport, I stop there and get a buffalo mozzarella.
Absolutely.
And the last time, all the years I went, they used to be very small.
Yeah.
Ever since the pandemic, now they only do like the half-kilo ones. So I went with my
Have you ever
zio.
had the braided mozzarella, buffalo
Yeah,
mozzarella?
like that, yeah.
The 12-pounder?
Yeah,
No,
amazing.
I'm not crazy about that one.
The buffalo mozzarella?
Yeah, it's a little harder. That's why, right? Because it's braided. That's all tied up
That's
and
what I'm
knotted.
saying. You gotta go where my family's from. It's
excuse
not
me,
hard
excuse me.
in ours.
Caserta, all right. We'll check it
Well,
out.
I'm in a little village, Santa Maria Capovetere.
Oh, yeah.
It's safe to say, though, I think we would all agree, Campania,
No,
the whole region, is the best cheese.
But you know what it is, right?
Because
What is it?
we have the best cows? I don't know.
It's undeniably we have the best buffaloes, but the thing is that because of the volcanic influence over the land and the soil, and the water being full of mineral content because of the ashes, the general richness of the soil is so much so that everything tastes so much better. Is the high content of minerals.
We've heard this about tomatoes a lot,
It's so, I mean,
but I never heard about it from.
It makes
from
sense, yeah, it
because
makes
the
sense.
cows are eating off the
absolutely,
land. Yeah.
of course, they're eating off the land, and it's the Romans used to call Campania Campania Felix,
Which
because
means
it was the fertile land.
Latin for
It's so
fertile.
rich.
Yeah.
Felix, like it's a happy, fertile, rich
Yeah.
land.
I like history lessons on a
Yeah.
podcast. I feel like you're full of history lessons in your content too.
Yeah, my dad is basically a historian.
Okay.
Not by trade, he's a civil engineer, but by passion. So when we were kids, we would go like raid the Etruscan catacombs, you know, and like find little ruins of vases or whatever of pre-Roman times.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be an archaeologist when I was a little kid. But going back to your original question, I grew up in a family of farmers. My family has been farming since we know that we can track the genealogical tree. So we're talking about the 1700s.
Wow.
That we know of.
That's incredible.
Because that's as far back that we know. We have owned land and we've been in the farming and agricultural. You know, my grandfather, Agostino, was the deputy mayor and president of the Consorzio Agricolo Campano. We produced wheat for the region and main produce. You know, we had vineyards and vegetables produce, wheat, and we can go back to the 1700s in the farming, on the land owning and the farming. That's all my family's ever done.
I'm just curious to how do you know it from the 1700s from like a journal or something, or like your family has it all documented?
We have one of our family member who works for the church, and they keep the oldest records because, you know, the church used to actually keep meticulous records of every land.
That people own.
Esatto.
It's true.
So she works for the church, and we can track down to a certain point on paper how long the family has been in the farming and the land owning. And to this day, we own land that produces wheat. So back to my story, I grew up in the dirt. Okay, so I used to go with my grandfather on his Lamborghini tractor. We would tag along. My brother and I, my cousins, would be like running in the dirt while he was like plowing for potatoes and all sorts of different, you know, harvesting wheat, and that's what I did. I lived in Santa Maria Capovetere from the age of 2 to 6 years old. So I went to kindergarten there for a little while, and I was living with my grandparents. And they have a big estate that we still own to this day, and we all live together as the Italians do. You know how much we love
They own a
that.
casa.
All in one compound. And then we moved back to Rome. I was born in Rome, went down south with my dad's family, and then moved back to Rome for my elementary school by age 6.5. So I then finished my schooling in Rome, in the city center. I lived near Trastevere, and I went to school in Campo dei Fiori, so near
everything.
in
Yeah,
there.
everybody talks about Trastevere. When I was just there, everybody.
Well,
it's
Trastevere
a hot zone right there.
It's hot.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of little restaurants. It's very iconic. And it's super, super iconic.
Yeah.
Trastevere.
What just made a lot of sense to me, like just putting this all together as we're talking, the fact that your family owned farms and
land yeah.
shows why you have so much respect for food and
ingredients.
in particular ingredients.
That's why my whole hair flipped.
Because
I'm so obsessed with the wholesomeness of ingredients, and also because back to the Mount Vesuvius and what it created for the land, just much like in Sicily where they have Mount Etna, you know, some of the richest soils are near volcanoes, you know, the best wines are near volcanic soil, and it's just so rich in nutritional value, but also like in flavor, like it bursts with flavor. You know?
Yeah.
And with being a family that owns a farm, there's a lot of situations where wait for il trattore qua per passare. You know, our family, we both come from farms too. Like on my dad's side and his, you know, my
There
mom.
isn't, you know, in that area, funnily enough, I was talking to my dad about it. There isn't many families that don't come from land.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're not wrong.
We're
You're not wrong.
farmers.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's not industrial major factories there. It's land. It's the Campania Felix.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. But what I was gonna say was what I noticed from growing up. My nonna would always, whatever the vegetables were that day, is what lunch was. So having dry pasta in the cabinet, maybe you have batane today, you know, scarola domani, you know, broccoli ravioli, you know,
See.
you just whatever vegetables you get from the land, and then whatever pasta's in the cabinet. So it is fair to say you are the pasta queen.
I mean, that's why I started with that concept. I joined TikTok and it was just my name, Nadia Caterina Munno. And then very quickly, I realized,
That was 2020?
2020, yeah,
By the way, could you say your name a little slower? Because that was crazy.
Nadia Caterina Munno.
Okay. You said Nadia Caterina Muno.
Nadia Caterina Munno.
That's
sì.
fast.
So very quickly after I started on TikTok, I changed from my personal, like my individual name, to a concept because I realized, and funnily enough, there were no Italians on TikTok from Italy. I mean, it was very new TikTok. It hadn't taken off in Italy, and so my audience was the Italians abroad, the Italian American community. And I started going viral in this community. And I realized how passionate. I have never seen so much patriotism than Italian Americans about Italy. Like, I think that being away from the homeland makes you more obsessed and more protective of it, as you know, as opposed to the regular Italian who lives and grows there and takes it for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here, everything is beautiful, but when you're away from it, it's nostalgia,
It hurt.
isn't it?
hurt,
This
yeah.
is exactly why we do what we
Yes.
do. What you just said is why we do this.
Yes.
It's
And
so
it's not
funny.
a lot of people that understand it, and
Yeah.
she does. It's
Yeah.
kinda-
She-
I
But she
you
sees
know,
both sides. That's
Yeah.
why, you know?
It's because I now consider myself Italian American, because even though I was born and raised in Italy, I'm in America, and I've been now for almost 9 years. It'll be 9 years in October, and I am an Italian American.
Can I give you my opinion why you say that?
Right?
Why you? I think the reason why you say that is because you're Italian through and through, but America gave you the opportunity to become who you are.
And you asked me why I came to America.
Yeah.
To me, America is the land of opportunities, the land of freedom. There is, you can be anywhere. Also, the mentality, you can be and expand and grow, and people support it. And they're like, I don't know, there's a very ambitious and very, go-getting. And I have always been like that. And I actually moved to England
Oh, you
when
did.
I was 18 to study. And I went for a study program. Didn't speak the language at all, guys. I arrived in England. I was like, the weather was bad. The food was questionable.
Fish and chips.
I mean, actually, I learned to love it. Fish and chips.
Yeah.
It was probably
Shepherd's
my
pie?
favorite. No. Let's not push too far. Yeah. A fish and chips is like baccalà fritto. I could relate to it. You know what I mean?
Baccalà
I was
patane.
like, okay, it was like a Christmas baccalà fritto, okay? But anyways, so I was already of that mentality of how can I go out of my comfort zone? How can I learn more cultures? How can I go out of this, and I love Italy, but it's like you live, my grandparents was like, you're going to get married, you're going to be in the village, you're going to carry on the family's legacy. We go to church every week.
Very prideful.
You know that 10,000 people and that's all you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Is
true.
this-
Of
is
course.
this-
Yeah.
Does this resonate a
I
little bit?
have cousins in Italy right now that's
They
the
do that.
that's the exact situation.
And I thought about it, guys, and I was like, I think I'm gonna die if I do that. I didn't have it in me, and I thought I can't do that.
To leave your comfort zone to change your life, it takes
And
it takes
America
courage.
is America.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like this. There was a huge migration of so many different Europeans coming to America, and they made their life, and they created empires. The Irish, the English, the Dutch, the Italians.
So how did exactly the conversation come about where you made the decision, okay, I'm going? Like, where were you at in life? Did you feel like at a point where you were stuck?
I was in England. You have to understand, I went to England back and forth from Italy, okay? So my mom was very upset with me. But I was like, I want to learn. First of all, I want to learn English. I think I need it. I'm not just going to know one language. I want to be able to speak to so many different people. I want to learn about different cultures. I wanted to learn English. I wanted to also study public relations because I thought at that time, like, I love talking to people. I did theater, but I also want to learn PR because I think it's a great way to relate to a bigger community. You know what I mean? I love PR, marketing, and then I actually met my husband there. So my husband
In
is
England?
British.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
And he's blonde, blue eyes. I was like, I come from Rome, the south of Italy. Everybody's got a certain look. And I was very attracted to this exotic blonde, blue eyes Viking. I was like, wow, he's different.
Yeah, that's different. I never seen this before.
I've never seen this before. It's not common, from the stereotype Italian stallion boyfriends that I.
So did
had.
you initiate talking to him first?
Oh yes.
Yeah?
I'm very aggressive.
It always works like that when the woman's
He's
interested
very
first.
like English. It's like, and you can never read the English people. They're very hard to read. They say one thing, are they thinking about another? I'm like Italian. I'm like, if I like you, I tell you, let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's none of this, like,
No games.
no games.
Yeah.
That's one thing I like about New York, is that it's very similar to where I'm from.
Yeah.
Rome, it's very aggressive. It's very in your face. It's very like, we say one thing, we mean that thing.
Yeah.
We don't say one thing and mean another thing.
Yeah.
And if we don't like you, we say it. If you failed at a job, you will be told you failed at a job. And you kind of like hustle. Versus some other cultures where you never know if you did something wrong. And I think it's not good for you to not know where you failed, because then you cannot better yourself.
Yeah,
I
makes
like
sense.
that. Like, hey, you effed up. You did this and you weren't supposed to do it. And you're like, oh, okay. Now I can grow from this,
You know where I can get a fresh quality pizza with the freshest ingredients? I'm talking like homemade dough, pecorino romano grated in-house.
Of course.
Where?
Cuz Auntie's Coal Fired Pizza and Wings. That coal fire is at the heart of who they are.
Oh, they're that spot that's located all in the Northeast, and they have a bunch in Florida, right?
Yep.
Man, I love when you have a good recommendation for once.
Crispy, crunchy, savory, and sweet. Order what you want on Uber Eats.
Listen, guys, from now till the end of the year, December 31st, on the Uber Eats app, you go to Anthony and Son Panini shop and you get a nice $25 off.
When you use the code Panini.
You gotta use the code Panini.
Terms apply. See app for details. We're very excited to announce a long-term partnership with DeSoto Gastronomia out from Australia. These guys got a really, really interesting restaurant concept where all their profits go to all these Italian charities.
DeSoto has a very interesting story. So they're first generation Italian Australians.
They're basically us in Australia.
DeSoto was created in their parents' and grandparents' honor so that they can pay their legacy forward. 100% of their proceeds goes to people in need, charities, and the arts.
DeSoto will be supporting us this year, so you know the content's going to be even better.
Bro, and who knows? Maybe at some point we're going to have to take a trip down under, huh?
I was always curious how the Italian Australians made food.
It's time we find out.
So you and your husband, so it was best to
Okay,
come?
so back to the point. I was aggressive. I was like, okay, I really like you. And he was like, oh, yeah, I like you too. I'm like, what's going on here?
Did you?
Like,
What was your first date with him? Do you remember?
yes. So we were set up by a friend, a common friend that I'd been there studying for a bit, and I knew I was kind of like interning for a jazz band, and I was selling CDs and merch at venues like jazz clubs in London, which was really really cool actually. And they were friends, and they said, you're studying piano, like, oh, you can do sales, you can sell our merch, you can come on tour with us. And then they knew my husband's father. And they said, oh, this kid is coming back from Los Angeles. He was studying there. He's moving back to England. We want you to meet him. And so he had a little bit of an American accent. Not only he was blonde, blue-eyed, but he had an American accent. I was like, oh, I like Americans.
He's like a movie star and from
Yes!
Los Angeles.
Yeah,
I was like, he looks like Ben Affleck.
That's great.
A mixture between Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. I was like, ooh. I already always idolized American movies, Hollywood. It was kind of cool,
What's crazy is that he already had a foot in the door in America too.
Yes,
he was
his
studying.
mother traveled, and he had a sales job and traveled. And the reason why we then went back to Florida is because he actually was there when he was little. He was there for a couple of years. He still had some childhood friends. So when we actually went from London, back to Rome. My kids were born in Rome. And then we came to America because of two of our biggest clients with our marketing company we had, with marketing for financial institutions and banks. I think there was HSBC, was one of our clients, a big bank that is everywhere. And we had a big client on the East Coast in Philadelphia. And my husband was traveling back and forth from London to Philadelphia. It was getting crazy. It was the biggest account. I'd never seen that kind of contract.
The
it was
workload.
10 times more remunerative than any other clients. By that time, we already had three kids. I have 4 now. And we're like, if we want to give the future we want to create a future for our kids, we need to make a lot more money.
Yeah.
And it was really down to like creating the best possible scenario for the kids. And moving to America was like a no-brainer to create one of our English offices on the East Coast. Yeah. Where do we go? Do we go to New York? Do we go to Philadelphia? The weather is not my favorite in New York. What the hell is going on?
Every time you make a really good point, you're
It's true.
It pops off.
It's true.
No, the weather in New York, I'm not used to it, being from the south of Italy. We're close to North Africa.
It never snows, right?
Never snows.
It's crazy to me.
In the summer it's 120 Fahrenheit. So I'm not used to cold weather. So when I already in England, I was depressed because the sunshine is not
Yeah,
predominant
they all
there.
say that. Yeah, they all say that.
And it rains a lot, and it's very cold in the summer. In the summer too. Actually, it's very cold. And when I came to New York once in February, I think I had worst time in Central Park. I wanted to go and take a walk. I didn't know Central Park was that big, and I got stuck, and my face froze halfway through trying to get on the other side of Central Park. It was, Valentine's, February 14th. My husband was like, "Oh, let's go to New York. It's so romantic." And I'm like, I am never living in New York. I cannot. I was frozen.
He said romantic?
Yeah.
What's romantic? The rats running around?
Especially
I
at
don't know.
Central Park.
It
Central
took
Park.
me to the National History Museum. I thought it was very lovely.
Yeah, that
we
is.
saw a
that
lot
is.
of culture. I was like, oh, this is cool. The fashion, the shops, the restaurants. I mean, you gotta say, between Florida and New York,
Yeah.
the food scene here is
Yeah,
a
it's
lot
a
more
lot better,
elevated. But you cannot beat the Gulf of Mexico beaches.
Yeah, of course.
That's true. That's true.
Where the sand is like crystal, like this white sandy soft on your feet. You're like, oh, so pleasant. And the water is always warm, even in the winter. I was like, okay, I'm going to Florida. I'm like, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And how did you get adjusted to Florida when you moved there? You just loved it from the start?
Very hard for me because I come from Rome,
And what part of Florida are we talking about?
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
And now Tampa Bay, for us, I'm not familiar. I haven't been there, but from what I've heard, it grew a lot in the last 5 years.
A lot.
Yeah, right?
I mean, I've been there now for 8.5 years, and I was so lucky because I went in there at a time where you can say it was kind of like not the cool place to be. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like Miami, Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale,
Naples,
Naples,
Marco Island, like
exactly, or Key West, all these fancier locations. I went in there and I found this old 1920 chateau that
Like a
was
little
abandoned.
Chateau means castle, right?
Yeah, it's like a French inspired mansion.
Nice.
I wouldn't say it's a castle, no. It's like a country home. That's what a chateau is. And there was this old architect, I live on the border of Bel Air in Florida, near Indian Rocks Beach, which is one of the most beautiful beaches, in my opinion, that I've ever seen. I mean, it's basically the same beach of the Bahamas.
Yeah.
It's
same
on the
border,
other.
yeah.
It's on that line. We share the Gulf of Mexico, and I found this 1920 built in the 1920. So it's 102 years old, 104 years old actually this year. We celebrated it.
Andeuri.
Grazie. And this amazing architect from New York was creating this French chateau for the mayor of Battle Creek, Michigan, who wanted this summer home in Florida.
Yeah.
And this guy was the guy that invented carbon copy paper. He was like we found an old patent online. He invented,
That's crazy,
the carbon copy paper. Yeah. And he patented, and he moved to Florida, and that was his wish to create like a chateau. I ended up buying it. It was owned by very interesting people through the decades, and I renovated. It was abandoned, burnt down, and I bought it in 2016 for a steal, and now it's worth, because of the way Florida has expanded over the since COVID, basically.
Yeah. Everybody
There's been
was
a
going
lot
there.
of people from the West Coast moving
from
upstate,
here,
East Coast.
upstate,
Yeah.
and now the market, like the real estate market is crazy. Like my home is like,
Yeah, God bless.
God bless. Yeah,
yeah,
congratulations.
I was lucky.
You guys got, but it's well deserved. from sitting here with you today, I realized a lot. Like everything that you do online as Pasta Queen, your brand, it all makes sense now because of all your experiences.
Yes.
From where you were raised, from going to England, from meeting your husband, to working the contracts he had, and just what you indulge in. Like you like to read, and you're very philosophical. It all makes sense to me now.
Yeah,
Like,
you're not a fraud.
you're not a fraud. You're not a character. It's
Yeah.
your brand is really who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason, the first inception of Pasta Queen was actually in England, where I started a YouTube channel, which totally failed.
Not fail, but
It failed.
It was before its time. That's why. You know what I mean?
I wasn't a YouTuber. I don't know how to do high definition production. At the time, I didn't have the means to invest in a video team, high definition cameras, editing. YouTube is very hard.
So was this Pasta Queen
2015.
YouTube? But was Pasta Queen YouTube?
It was called Pixie Dust. Why? I will tell you another time.
Pixie Dust.
Pixie Dust. It's not a stripper name.
Magical.
Okay.
Pixie Dust. I thought more like a superhero or something. But
Okay, so there is a thing that I have, and it's, I my kids, my husband, or whatever, even my family. It's like the leprechaun that finds the pot of gold. There's an element of luck and magic and a little pixie dust. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I believe in magic. Yeah. But anyways, that's for another day, another story. But the reason why I started that YouTube channel, which I named randomly, just based on something, I didn't even know I had a premonition about Pasta Queen, but it's because England is so different than Italian culture. They're so conservative. They're so reserved. They're so muzzled, quiet in manners. You're not supposed to speak too loud. And I went into there and I was a fish out of water, and I stuck out so much. Like, I was too loud, I was too bold, I dressed too provocative, the way I talked was too, come si dice, maleducata.
Like bad behavior.
Bad-mannered, ill-mannered.
Ill-mannered.
Because they have rules like drink, like the fork's got to be here. There's got to be
etiquette.
Like,
kitchen etiquette,
I talk and my mouth open and I'm eating. I throw stuff and I was like, wow, like I am so different, and people kept on pointing it out. Why do you do that? Why do you say that? Why do you speak so loud? Say this in Italian. Pizza, pasta, And I'm like, okay, guys, we're not just about pizza and pasta here. And it kind of made me almost like, I was like, I gotta teach them my culture. I'm gonna take advantage of how different I am, not to feel belittled, but to create a point, to make a point.
You were early in your time if you were doing that while you were in England.
Yeah, they were belittling me for being different. So I was like, I'm gonna show you that it's cool to be different. Yeah. And you don't have to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Each one is unique. Each one of us is unique, even in Italian culture.
So that YouTube channel did not do well. You moved to Florida.
I had 1,000 followers after 9 months. I was exhausted. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah,
this is not making any money.
Tough. You gave it a break?
I basically went off of it 5 years until TikTok was my launch platform because it was so easy.
Right.
I didn't have to have a team. I didn't have to invest any like big equipment or whatever. It was just me and my iPhone, and I was filming myself and cooking at the same time.
Selfie mode, basically.
Selfie mode.
That TikTok
Then
appreciated
my brother
that.
came along. He helped me film, and I filmed him. And
I always see your brother in your videos.
yes. Yeah. He's basically my my twin. I mean, we're only 1 year apart.
Oh,
yeah.
We call that Irish twins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it the same year? or a year later?
No,
Yeah.
15 months
Oh,
apart.
okay.
Okay,
Let's
yeah.
go. Yeah, I was gonna say that'd
Still
be
close
crazy.
though. But you know what's funny? You said, you live in a chateau. For a minute, I thought that you were in Italy. Like in the beginning of COVID.
It looks like it in the
I was like,
background.
oh, she's from Rome. So I was like, oh, she's got to be somewhere in Rome. So were you going for that like Roman-esque vibe
Yeah,
for
like I think my it's not quite Roman. I would say it's more of like
middle?
it's got a little bit of a Tuscan villa feel.
Yeah.
What was the first video, or what was the
Okay.
moment?
Oh, look at this guy.
I want to
It's
get.
about to fall.
I listen. I have a cut time, so I want to get the important questions in. Well, was there a video that, or what was the moment when you're like, okay, this is for real?
My lemon creamy spaghetti.
My mom saw that video and made it.
And now everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of pasta queens on the internet now. Everybody's a pasta
Oh,
queen.
there's only one pasta.
No,
right?
but there's one OG.
She just gave you a look.
But I'm saying there's like
There's a
400
lot, right?
now.
The pasta princess, the noodle princess, the
Yeah, that's
this,
what I'm
that
saying.
princess. I'm like,
the chicken parm queen.
see, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
But I love it.
You paved the way.
I love it. I think it's fantastic.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful. And you know what? People that are successful would never look down on people trying to do something. You want to see that, right? Like, that's what we do it
I
for.
want it all because we all, I was saying this yesterday to a friend, a fellow food blogger. She was like, "Oh, do you think we're too competitive if we go?" I'm like, "What? Competitive?" It's like, no. I was like, "There's 8 billion people on this planet." I'm like, we collaborate.
Yes.
Collaborating and not competing.
The small-minded people look at it as competition. The real.
We go together, we're stronger.
Absolutely.
And also, what is the purpose? What value are you bringing? What are you competing for? Like, why don't we bring value and entertain people? We are entertaining people. We're making people happier.
Yeah.
What I love about your content, especially, this is why you're always number one to me. You make a dish, but you explain every single thing you're putting in there and why you're putting it in there.
Ingredients.
Yeah, you're very thorough and you give a good analysis. When not to give like any shade to other accounts, but they just throw the food in there. And it's like, all right, well, I don't know how much to put because you didn't tell me. Or why am I putting this in there? What use is that? You know what I mean? You're very informative with your cooking and your
There is a quote that comes to mind. Down from my literature love. Do you know a guy called Leonardo DaVinci?
Yeah. I don't know him personally.
Never heard of him.
Well, I've had the pleasure. But he says, details make perfection. And perfection is not a detail. What does that mean to you?
I'm gonna have to think about that one.
Exactly.
That's deep.
I got to write that one down and read it 3 or 4 times.
I gotta read that before I leave my house.
Details, it's like a riddle. Okay? Let's solve it. Dylan there is looking at me. He's like, I know the answer to that one.
Bravo, Dylan. Bravo.
He's Swiss, so he is very, very detail oriented.
I love Switzerland.
You have a good team
Beautiful.
around you, by the way. I like it.
They're
I like the energy.
lovely. They're lovely. I have the best team. I mean, look at Alexis.
And she's on the block, too.
And she's a big fan of your paninoteca.
I appreciate it. I love that.
Okay, the riddle solving. Details make perfection, and perfection is not a detail.
So
What do you think it means?
kind of sounds like Rome wasn't built in a day, kind of thing.
Okay, yeah.
Meaning like you're gonna try.
It's the little things that make it all work. So in this instance, because we were talking about the ingredients of the food,
Yeah,
you get the best olive oil, the best tomatoes you possibly can,
you're gonna get the
the
perfect
best
dish.
ingredients you possibly can,
Yeah,
is what makes
That's right.
the dish what it is.
yeah.
That's right. But you see, Leonardo worded in a specific way because he talks about details make perfection. And perfection is not a detail.
Right.
So it means
you can't
that
force it, right?
it's not a detail, singular. So it means that Perfection is achieved by layers and layers of flavor and details.
Just like a
There's not just
lasagna.
one detail. There's a lot to it.
It's more than
Look
just
at
salt and
this-
pepper.
Bravo.
You know?
Look at the lasagna. Lasagna is so many details coming together. And everyone well thought of and put together. And everything you do in life, if you are detail oriented, it's the difference between someone who's like taking life in with a professional approach versus a dilettante or an amateur. Like when you're amateur about it, you're like, oh, I do it in my spare time. Versus a professional goes, no, I live and breathe and I do this 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the difference?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
So that's what I look at pasta this way.
I was gonna say, go into details, specific details. Do you ever get like, oh, you're making this wrong, or why you put in this? Like, do you ever get that in any comments?
Mostly I get it from families that have their own way of making something, and they're like, I don't do it this way. My nonna doesn't do it that way. I'm like, well, that's fantastic for you. I don't know. Well done. I don't know what to say. I mean,
Applauso.
That's what I do. If you want to put ricotta versus bechamel in a lasagna, every family between north and south does it differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every family does it differently for sure.
Yes.
So when we're talking about details, I
Yeah.
think it's important to talk about why people should go out here today, if you're watching this,
Yeah.
get in tune with you if they don't know already, but purchase your cookbook.
Oh, guys,
I
we're
know.
supposed to talk about the sauces.
That's what we're getting into. So you have a whole line of sauces.
Okay, guys, so listen, there's 5 sauces that I created with the finest ingredients.
Exactly.
No artificial flavors, no colors, no sugar, no artificial preservatives, because I wanted to create the most authentic flavors that I could possibly, with Italian ingredients, and give them to the people of America. So they are now available nationwide at Walmart. And they've
Amazing.
been-
That's
Congratulations.
goals.
That's you deserve.
Amazing.
You deserve
Thank you.
all of this and more.
Applauso.
Thank
From
you.
seeing you all these years, you truly deserve this.
If there's anywhere I'm getting jarred sauce, it's from you.
Yeah.
And listen, these are tested by Italians.
Approved.
Like my dad was on the research and testing team. This is not a joke.
Yeah.
This is not like industrial. I give someone a recipe and like let them run with it and forget about it. No. I worked on this for 2 years. They were cooked in my kitchen. They flew to my kitchen. They are very well thought out and very DaVinci style, detail oriented. And of course, I'm bringing my collection of love and knowledge about Italian cooking into a book called The Art of Italian Cooking, which is out on November 12
Amazing.
Amazing. That's
across
great.
the United States and Canada.
Is this your first cookbook?
This is my second cookbook. My first cookbook is the Pasta Queen, a Just Gorgeous cookbook, and it was an instant New York Times bestseller. Canada
Congratulations.
bestseller.
That's amazing.
Yeah, actually, I was so proud because I didn't know how many followers and how many fans I had in Canada, but it was an instant New York Times bestseller and a bestseller on Canada, which made me automatically an international bestseller.
That's a
Can
very
you believe it?
That's an important title to have.
Yeah.
People trust you, and I trust you with your cooking. Why wouldn't
Thank you, Rocco.
why wouldn't I want your cookbook?
Yeah.
I think Rocco, you should take one of these and make some for the missus.
Absolutely,
you know?
absolutely. How many types of sauces do you guys have?
4.
Oh, there's 5.
Oh, 5. Okay.
There's a lemon temptress, which is
That's the number
what, like the Pasta Queen signature, mega viral. You know, Kylie Jenner loved it and reshared it. I cooked it for Drew Barrymore. I mean, it was an instant sensation. So I'm bringing it out, and it is inspired by a Sophia Loren original recipe. So this is not like people are like hating on that's fresh cream. It's not really Italian. I'm like, guys, this is based off of a Sophia Loren, which I then made mine, of course, but it's a Sophia Loren recipe that I read many, many years ago.
That's great.
So, anyways, lemon temptress, marinara, spicy vodka, 4 cheese, and oh yes,
Arrabbiata.
of course, one of my favorites.
That's tipo Roma, no?
Yeah.
It's a very, very, very popular recipe in Rome. Penna all'arrabbiata.
Can I ask you, for that sauce, the lemon temptress,
Yeah.
what's the best pasta shape for that sauce?
Oof, so many. I mean, I
But
would
the number
do like,
one.
I would do a spaghetto.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay. I can see that. Nice.
it's what.
Bucatini, like, you know.
Sì,
noodle.
bucatino, spaghetto. You can do a tagliolino. You can do a fettuccine. I would say a long strand because it's so romantic. And also, it's called the lemon temptress. When you eat this, it's got a little mesmerizing effect.
Okay.
I like
So make sure you eat it with the person that you want to mesmerize.
Okay.
Okay.
Sabino's gonna be having that.
Rocco's already got it covered. Rocco's got it covered.
What's happening with you, Sabino? Any romantic?
Yeah, you know, here and there. Maybe that'll help it for sure.
Well, you gotta use the lemon temptress.
So you gotta. All right. So I gotta buy these and basically break it for emergency, and then you take out the lemon
Yeah,
temptress.
you gotta keep a bunch in the pantry.
Yeah.
Break them out as needed.
Besides Walmart, where can people buy it online? Is there a website direct?
There's a lot of third-party sellers right now that it's been at Walmart for over a month. You can just Google the Pasta Queen sauces,
Okay.
and it will give you options to buy it.
For everyone that's interested, we'll put it in the description.
Now, Walmart has an exclusive
Got you.
for the first 6 months, but there's already third-party sellers that will.
That's great. Yeah.
But in about 4 months, the sauce will be going out to different stores outside of Walmart as well.
Awesome.
Listen, I know you got to head out soon, but we're
have
gonna
some
get
fun?
to Rocco's gonna have some fun questions for you. But I have one question before
That
we
case
do
is
the
cool.
fun questions. I think right now you've been very nice about the Italian Americans, and you kind of been putting on like a faccia, I want to say, right? Like, you know, Italian Americans. But what's one thing about Italian Americans and Italians from Italy, and from you making the adjustment from Italy to here, that you were like kind of shocked by, or you were like, wait, we don't do this in Italy, so you shouldn't do it? Like, is there something that grinds your gears, you know?
Yes, chicken Alfredo
Chicken Alfredo.
really rubs me the wrong way.
It's such a typical answer, but it makes sense.
But that's my favorite dish, though. That's
With broccoli too,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Rocco.
with broccoli. Broccoli.
Oh, Rocco.
Why?
We're from the same region.
Yeah, but I had.
You go.
I'm American. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, but you're.
Nah, I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
Porca miseria. You go down to Campania and you ask for chicken Alfredo. They'll chase you out with the,
Yeah.
with the wooden spoon. Eh?
What about chicken parm? Is it authentic or no?
Nah, you can answer your own question. Sabino. No. Okay, so yes,
Alfredo.
you're right. I've been keeping the peace.
Yeah. we want to get a little. We got to get numbers here. What do we? You know.
The thing is that I think there's certain no-nos. You cannot do certain things in Italian culture. And I wish we could have stayed a little bit more authentic. Like the Olive Garden. What's happening there?
All right, maybe we should do this. What are the Pasta Queen's no-nos? Maybe you give me your most important 3.
No chicken Alfredo.
Okay.
No chicken parm. Anything with chicken, for that matter, is cancelled.
No chicken at all.
No chicken with pasta.
Okay, no chicken with pasta.
No, it's just something that is... so if you go to Italy, I just want to... This is why I do the service announcement. I want to protect you from the Italian anger. When you go to Italy and you think that you're going to find chicken parm in the restaurant, and the waiter basically double charges you
Yeah.
because Now you've created a diplomatic incident.
Yeah.
I'm basically saving you money. You understand what I'm saying? I'm being kind to the people of the world coming to Italy as to certain things you're not supposed to ask or do.
What about cappuccino after dinner? You like that one?
No, I mean, everybody knows. You will see the waiters and even the locals ridicule you. And then they will get also a little bit mean.
Yeah.
Where they will put stuff in your food.
Really?
And
Why is it because you can't have milk after dinner or something? Why? What's the exact rule? Why it's not
you
an okay
just
thing?
don't do it. It's like, why do you keep your long nails when you're cooking? Because I want them long. I don't want to cut them.
Wait.
Oh, wow, yay! Mind blown.
Exactly.
Wait,
Why
so
do you
then-
cut your nails? Because I don't want it. I don't want to. Okay, so cappuccino, okay. It's a breakfast drink. It's like, what is one thing that is just a thing? What is a thing? Watching football on a Sunday? Why don't you watch football on replay on Monday? Because it's a thing.
That's true, yeah.
You watch football, baseball, whatever you do. I don't know.
She's
on
like,
a
"You American,
certain
what the-"
day. On a certain day. But why don't you record it and watch it another day? Because it's a thing.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Cappuccino, it's a thing for us. It's a breakfast drink. You come to a restaurant, and I made several videos about this as a gesture of kindness to mankind. Don't do it. You get stuff in your food. You get double charged. Why? Because people are like, okay, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, so we're going to take advantage of you.
It's unwritten rules. Unwritten rules is what
It's a
it is.
golden rule. No cappuccino after 11 a.m.
It really is a big thing.
Why
for
is
breakfast.
that? I want my cappuccino. That's not true. Okay, well, at your own risk and peril.
Well, I gotta ask you this one, man. Do you put cheese on your seafood?
You know, this is a controversial thing because there is certain things that are allowed with seafood. Like some dishes, like for example, my drunken salmon, which is a salmon creamy as fresh cream. Some dishes in the south of Italy with mussels come with pecorino. Did you know that? Risotto, mussels, and pecorino. Very southern Italian spin. There is certain exceptions, but as a rule, if you are at the restaurant and you're having spaghetti al tonno or clams or whatever, there is no way you're going to ask for a parmigiano sprinkled on top. They are going to ridicule you. You're going to get poisoned on your way to the airport.
Nice.
That's classic.
All right.
I think we got 5 minutes left. So, Rock, you want to do rapid fire?
Let's have some fun, super quick ones.
All right.
All right, you ready?
Yes, I'm
So-
always ready.
I need the pasta queen's best 3 pastas.
Spaghetti, rigatoni, e penne. Those are my top 3. And
What
I
about-
think they're the top 3 most popular in the world.
What about pasta dishes in particular?
Ah!
Like, no. I think that's what you asked, but I'm
Yeah,
curious.
that's fine. Yeah.
So,
Do you always have this problem?
no. We're trying to get.
We're working on it. We're working on
You're
it.
working.
Yeah,
I can tell that you're working on it.
I just met him, so we're trying to build
Yeah,
the
we-
chemistry.
Who's this
yeah?
guy? What's he doing here? Okay, so pasta dishes.
Yeah.
Lasagna,
Number 1.
puttanesca, just because I am obsessed with it, and spaghetti alle vongole. I think I could live off of those 3 for the rest of my life, and I'll be totally okay with it.
Yeah.
Puttanesca, that one's.
It's the olives, the capers, the anchovies, the real tomato,
The real
so
Italian,
good.
the real Italian restaurants have a puttanesca.
I mean, in Rome they do. It's a Campania / Roman, often intermingled dish.
Yeah.
How can you tell that an Italian restaurant is authentic?
They don't put garlic bread as a first thing. If they bring the garlic bread, you are in trouble.
Do you use a lot of garlic in your cooking?
Moderately.
Not like in.
I mean, I've seen things like 15 garlic cloves in the tomato sauce. I'm like, what's happening here?
Trying
Are
to
you
kill
trying to give the
vampires.
vampires
15. That's it?
I love that. No, we usually put 20.
/2, and it's always the essence of garlic. It's not like burnt and yes. There's several things that we do differently.
All right. So now I have to ask you, because this is always controversial when we post it. Do you consider gnocchi a type of pasta?
I consider gnocchi a main dish, so a primo.
Okay.
So why wouldn't it be pasta?
Because it's potato based.
So listen, this is controversial, and that's an excellent question because there is different ways you can do the gnocchi. You can also do a gnocco, like they do in Sardinia, with semolina, flour, and water. So that's a pasta.
Gnocco fritto, you're talking about.
Gnocco fritto is a different thing.
Yeah.
Gnocco
You're talking
fritto-
about the bread that in Sardinia, it's like flat, right?
No, that's in Emilia Romagna.
Okay.
When I'm talking about gnocchietto sardo, is like a little cavatelli type, which is called in Sardinia gnocchietto or gnocco, which is semolina and water. That's a pasta. But when you make it specifically with potato, flour, and egg, is a gnocco.
Yeah.
You're not gonna say I'm eating pasta today. I'm eating gnocco.
Right.
And it can kind of transcends, but it has its own classification as gnocco, and it is a main dish.
I agree with you. I like that. And I'm trusting all your takes. So more takes. I'm going to make you pick between two types of pasta.
Okay.
All right. Without thinking which one you prefer.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Lasagna or manicotti?
Lasagna. You know this answer.
Easy.
Say-
Number
give me
one.
more.
Lasagna all the way.
Do you like
This-
manicotti or no?
Oh yeah. I mean, I love. In Rome we call it cannelloni.
Yes.
I love it. It's like it's a Sunday staple, But lasagna, because I'm also Neapolitan, lasagna is closer to my heart, to how I was raised.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
Ravioli or stuffed shells? How do you say it? Conchiglioni.
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 So ravioli or conchiglioni?
Conchiglioni is like a large shells. To me, I'm a sucker for ravioli. I don't know. I really love ravioli. I'm obsessed because you
Ravioli.
can make I don't know. It's also like the egg.
Yeah.
The stuffed shells are like the heavy durum wheat. It's a dry pasta. It's a little harder. The egg pasta with the ravioli, with the filling. It's just such a celebration.
Pillow of love, right?
Sì, it's a pillow of love. You're right. I love that.
Yeah. Cavatelli or fusilli?
Cavatelli.
Why? Because they're very similar. Homemade, they're both very similar. One just a little.
I think it's just how I was raised. It's more popular in the south.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
cavatello. Sì.
It's a little smaller too, right?
It's smaller. See, it doesn't quite look like a fusillo. I mean, the fusillo is
No,
like
yeah,
a
it's curly.
twisty
Our
thing.
family does it lazy though. They
it
don't
looks
really
like-
do the twist. You
It's
know what I
almost
mean?
look like a casariccia.
Yes.
Got it. Got
You
it.
get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Easy, I get it.
Spaghetti or bucatini?
I'm Roman, so I'm supposed to say bucatini.
Yeah, that's what I would think too.
Because we have bucatini alla matriciana is like
Yeah.
a kind of iconic shape. But because of my Neapolitan heart, I would say spaghetti.
Oh, you stay true. You stay true to Campania. I love it.
Yes, I mean, yes, I love the spaghetti.
Paccheri or rigatoni?
Rigatoni all the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes, like the little ridges.
You like that?
They grab onto the sauce. There's a nice crunch. It's also not too big of the size. Paccheri are gorgeous, but they're a little bigger. They're more like a unique one. Once in a while, rigatoni I could eat every day.
Right.
Gotta,
All right.
they gotta stop.
right. That's fine.
Okay, last one.
No,
and-
no,
last
come on,
one.
last one.
I was gonna say pappardelle or tagliatelle.
Tagliatelle.
Why? It's the same thing, no?
It's more, I've been more accustomed to it, having been brought up in the region of Campania.
Yeah.
It's more common tagliatelle than pappardelle. Pappardelle is more like you go up to Tuscany, they do wild boar pappardelle. They use pappardelle a lot more. Down there, Naples, even in Italy, in Rome, le fettuccine, le tagliatelle, that cut.
Yeah.
It's more common. So I love, it's more familiar to me. It's closer to home.
Absolutely.
I love that. All right, so we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts to coming. We know your schedule's crazy, and for you to
kidding
take
me?
time to come meet
But
us.
hold on. I saw the video going viral. How you doing? But you didn't ask me.
You weren't here
Are you
that
only
day.
asking Italian American?
You want to give us a how you doing?
Are you trying to discriminate?
No. Go
Against
ahead.
Italian.
Give us your best how you doing.
How you doing?
Oh, okay. I
pretty
like
good.
that. I like
You know,
that.
a little-
I watched The Soprano. I love
You like
that
it?
TV show.
So funny.
I
I didn't
love
expect
it.
that at all.
I love it so much.
Is there anything else you want to say before?
How you doing?
How you
How
doing?
you doing?
How
Thank you so
doing?
much for
That's
being
it.
here.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for having me.
Guys, make sure to check out the pasta sauces, the cookbook. If you haven't watched Pasta Queen, what are
My
you doing?
new cookbook, The Art of Italian Cooking, is going to be incredible. There's from cocktail, appetizers, all the way to desserts. All of my top, most favorite recipes that I've collected through my entire lifetime, really, traveling from region to region. I've encapsulated all in this one. By no means is an exhaustive encyclopedia of every Italian dish ever created, but it's my top over 100 recipes that I cherish and love.
I love that.
And then the pasta sauces.
I love that. Guys,
Beautiful.
make sure to support. If you're
Absolutely.
if you're a fan, this is your way to
Yeah,
support.
as real as it
Guys.
gets. Nadia, thank you so much.
Thank you, Rocco. Thank you, Sabino.
Alla prossima.
Alla prossima.
Ciao.
Ciao, ragazzi.